Hello, everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Ship date for Wednesday the 5th. All right, let's go. Well, not a pretty day in the market, not a pretty day in the portfolio. A lot of sector rotation going on. We're going to take a look at that in just 1 second. I took off the other two, ALM and STOK. I just didn't like them anymore. I found myself when I was cleaning up a momentum list earlier, when I came to those two, I flagged them for removal. And then it made me realize that, well, wait a minute, Dave, you have buy orders on these, or you're going to buy them. And if you're taking them out of the list, they're no longer worthy. They pull back too far, too deeply, and they give it a condition in the market and all factored in. It was time to pull them off. Anyway, NRGV, I still think it has potential. We'll take a look at that in just 1 second. KYTX just barely hit the stop. Let me know if you got stopped out on that. I didn't get a chance to take a look at time and sales and what actually happened. I know it did tick there on multiple platforms. And let me know if it actually triggered you out or took you out of that one. ABCL, this one stopped out very well. It hit it and then kept on going, obviously. So that one comes out. And as you know, I follow the portfolio mechanically here. So if something even nicks it, it comes out. Unless, of course, everybody is still in it, then I'll go ahead and continue to follow it. As far as the Landry list. Well, let's take a look at portfolio first, since we're already here. ABCL, obviously break it down, taking the stop out. It happens. Better than a poke in the eye type of trade. You get in on these, and you make a little money, and then you get stopped out, and then you just reset. And that's the nature of the game. It used to get me really upset. Now it's just comes with the territory. Hive down a little on your stop just in case on that one. KGC, the rest of the goals got hit pretty hard. This one really didn't hit that hard, all things considering. But obviously, it still went down nonetheless. So remember to stop if it takes out that low, which is also a stop. Go ahead and bail out on that one. KYTX coming down and just kind of nicking that stop and right to 630. Again, let me know if you got stopped out on that one. NUAI coming in, but it still looks pretty good longer term. And TFPM selling off a bit, off its worst levels, but still above the recent little pullback. It's still above the stock. So let's go ahead and stick with that one for now. Let's get back to the Landry list, or get to the Landry list, I should say. First of all, NRGV, let's continue to go after this one, but of course, wait for an entry. It came fairly close today before coming back in. So again, and as usual, wait for an entry. This one still looks pretty good. The stock had, like I said a second ago, it just doesn't look as good as it did a few days ago. So let's go ahead and pull that one out of the list. And what was the other one? Oh, ALM. Already forgotten about it. Just a little bit too deep of a pullback. Also, metals and mining, not the hottest sector at the moment. So let's go ahead and just forget about that one for the time being. Let's take a look at the overall market and then drill down. A few things obviously happening today. First of all, let's take a look at the Ps. S&P 500, not the end of the world there. I mean, down 1% and change. Longer term still looks pretty good. And shorter term, this little breakout remains intact. So far, it's only pulling back. So that still looks okay. Obviously, if it comes back in to this prior range, then all bets are off. But for now, it still looks okay. Same sort of action in the NASDAQ, although the NASDAQ really ugly. Look at that, 2% and change. But one more day like that will put us back into this range, and then we're going to have to reconsider quite a bit. For now, let's just see what tomorrow brings. And I know that's not a good answer, but that's what trend following is all about. It's like, okay, a little bit of a shot across the bow today. Let's see what happens over the next few days or few weeks. Russell 2000 coming down to the bottom of its range. If it takes out the bottom of its range, not the end of the world, but we'll watch for bow ties and other type of transitional type of pattern. Semiconductors getting whacked pretty hard, but so far it's kind of that breakout pullback type of pattern, a bit of a TKO type there. We could see some setups here fairly soon, but again, one big down day puts us back to the range. Back into the soup is what the hedge fund manager used to say when you get back into this choppy type of area. I don't know if you've heard me say that before. Metals and mining, like I said a second ago, now taking out that pullback low, so that's a little bit concerning. Gold not looking so hot after today's action, back toward the bottom of that low. If it takes that out, then obviously all bets are off. And then also gold stocks right to the bottom of its range, so that's looking fairly ugly. Uranium within the metals, stalling out if they're trying to rally, so that's a bit of a gatekeeper type of pattern. When you stall short of the prior highs, that's a very, what's a good word for that? That's almost a reversal type of pattern. Closest thing to a reversal that I'll occasionally trade. Not that often, but every now and then I'll take a gatekeeper to the down side. Telecommunications, down a little, bounced a bit too, but still down on the day. This one looks kind of ugly. It's been breaking down, obviously, as of late. Retail looking ugly, banging out new lows with a little bit of vigor. So it's starting to look a little ugly out there. Some areas still look pretty good, like biotech. So far, just pulling back a little bit. The FITS has now pulled back to its below its prior breakout levels there. So that's a little bit of a concern. Still in a longer term uptrend. But again, like many areas, additional weakness would be of concern. So let's just sit back a little bit. Let's become a little bit aggressive. I'm sorry, a little bit less aggressive. Let's be aggressive and not being aggressive is what I might be trying to say there. In other words, let's let things shake out a bit and see what happens over the next few days. Maybe we'll get some trend knockouts in certain areas. That might be worth going after, but we don't want to look too far ahead. One day at a time. Stop me if you heard that before. Before I forget, Bitcoin is looking pretty darn ugly, breaking down in earnest there. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out. Whether the AI could support these, not to confuse the issue with facts, but the AI could support these digital stocks, digital mining type of stocks, remains to be seen. Speaking of AI does still look okay. So far, just pulling back a little bit, but additional weakness would put it back into the shorter term range, and we'd have to reevaluate. So we're definitely in wait and see mode, pulling your horns a little bit. Let's let things shake out and then see where we come out on the other side. Sorry I went long, but just had a few things I wanted to talk about tonight. Everybody have a fantastic night. If you have any questions, you know the routine. Thank you so much.